Hello, welcome to Tabletop CP, and today we're doing a summary battle report for a Patron Remote game that we played this weekend. It's a game of bolt action. It was myself versus Tyson McInnes. 750 points, late war Soviets versus Germans. The mission we played was Heartbreak Ridge from Bolt Action Alliance. In this mission, you place one objective in the center of the table. You break the table into table quarters. We each pick the defender picks a table quarter. The other guy gets the opposite one. We both place an objective in that table quarter, which is our home objective, and the objective is to capture the most objectives, your opponent's being worth 2, the center worth being 1, and your own is worth 0 to you but 2 to your enemy, so it must be defended. So we played this mission a lot, nothing new there, but that's the mission, that was the game. We'll take a quick look at the forces. The first force we'll look at here is the Soviet force. So this is from the Soviet Reinforced Platoon Selector. It is 743 points, 9 order dice. So we had a regular junior lieutenant with man with SMGs. We had 2 regular LMG squads with 2 LMGs each, and an NCO with submachine gun. We also had 1 Siberian veteran squad, 8 guys, all with SMGs. We had our free inexperienced rifle squad. We also had a regular medium mortar with spotter. We had a regular sniper. We had a veteran anti-tank rifle team. And then we had a BA-10 armored car, which is a fully enclosed 7+ recce vehicle. It has a light AT gun with coax LMG and also a forward-facing LMG. And that is the Soviet force. And here we have the German list. This is the list that Tyson made and sent to me. So first we have 1 regular second lieutenant by himself with an an SMG. Then we have 3 infantry squads. These are Panzer Grenadier squads, and there are 3 rifles, 4 assault rifles. 2 of them have an NCO with an assault rifle. The third one has an NCO with an SMG, and then there's 2 Panzerfausts. So 3 of those squads. And then we had 1 medium machine gun team regular. We had 1 medium mortar with spotter regular. We had a regular flamethrower. And then rounding it out, we had a Panzerschreck team. So yeah, that's 8 order dice, 750 points on the nose. And that was Tyson's list. So we'll go ahead and see how the game went. All right, so the first thing we did was we placed objectives. So I won the roll off and I picked the bottom left table quarter. And I placed my objective in these trees here. And then Tyson placed his objective behind the hut in the upper right hand corner. And then we had 1 objective in the center of the board. Next we deployed. We both deployed 1 infantry and an additional infantry or artillery unit in our table quarter. So I started off by deploying my medium mortar in the trees behind the church. And then my second unit was an LMG squad, which I placed in the clump of trees in the center of the table. The dense terrain there behind that so that I couldn't be spotted. Then Tyson deployed his 2 units, his first being an infantry squad, which he placed in the behind this building in the center of the table, and the second being his MMG team, which he deployed along his far left flank halfway up in that clump of trees. I then placed my mortar spotter behind the fence in this central building here just to get a good line of sight to my right. Turn 1 begins. First dice out of the bag is German, and Tyson puts his machine gun covering his left flank on ambush. The next several dice out of the bag all were dedicated to putting everything we had in reserve down. Once all the reserves had received their down orders, the game resumed, with the Soviet inexperienced squad coming into the wheat field on my far left flank to help secure my objective. Next, the German mortar came in along the back edge towards Tyson's left flank, and the spotter came in to the clump of trees on his side of the board in the middle. Then the German flamethrower was ordered to run and link up with the German squad in the center of the board. Next dice was Soviet. I advanced my sniper up inside the fence opposite the enemy machine gun, who declined to use his ambush. Next, the Germans advanced a squad on their far right flank in the wheat field towards the Soviet home objective. Then another Soviet dice appeared. I used it to have my mortar take a shot at the German squad advancing through the wheat field, which immediately missed. The Soviet armored car was next to activate. It moved its double rate of speed down the road, and fired its coax MG at the German squad in the wheat field, scoring 1 hit, but doing no damage. Nothing but a pin. So the last dice out of the bag for the Soviets, I just had the squad in the middle advance up into the woods towards the center objective. The last dice out of the bag was the last German dice, and Tyson had the squad in the center of the board advance into the building, and that was the end of turn 1. So the start of turn 2 in the first dice is a German dice, and Tyson's mortar takes a shot at the Soviet LMG squad in the trees and misses. Then the German mortar took its second shot at Schultz's squad in the wheat field, only needing a 5 this time, but again missing. The Soviet sniper activates next and takes a shot at the German medium machine gun team in the trees, but misses. Another Soviet die is pulled, and I place my inexperienced team on ambush. Yet another Soviet die is pulled, and I use it to try to bring in my other LMG squad that's off the board, but they fail their order. Next die is yet another Soviet die, and my officer passes his order to come in from reserves, and he moves in to join the squad in the center. A German die finally appears, and Tyson uses it to try to move Schultz's squad up in the wheat field to try to get out from under that barrage, but he fails the 1-pin order and goes down. Another Soviet dice. This time I try to bring my AT rifle team in from reserve, but they too fail their order. Next, a German die is pulled, and the squad in the building in the center advances out. They are just out of Panzerfaust range for the armored car, so they fire 15 shots into the Soviet Union in the trees in the center, scoring 4 hits and getting 2 kills plus the pin. Another German die came out, and Tyson put his officer in reserve down. I then had my LMG squad in the woods pass their 1-pin order, and they returned fire on that German squad directly to their front, scoring, they had 11 shots, 9 hits, and killing 5 men. So an epic volley there from those guys. The Germans did, however, pass their morale test. Next 2 dice were Soviet dice. The first one I just put my outflanking Siberian veterans down, and with the second one I moved my armored car back so I can get both LMGs facing on that squad in the middle. Fired both, only got 1 hit, and all I did was just put a pin on them. The last few dice are German. The first one he uses to put his outflanking Panzerschreck team down. He then brings his third and final squad into the center behind the trees where the spotter is. And then lastly, he moves his flamethrower around the left side of the building in the center of the board, and that does it for turn 2. At the top of turn 3, the German mortar gets the first die, fires for the second time at the Soviet squad in the woods, and scores a direct hit. And this time he's gotten 4 under the template, and he kills 3 of them and adds 2 pins. So those guys are now in a little bit of trouble. Next, another German dice comes out, and Schultz's squad in the wheat field is able to finally pass their order to get out from underneath that barrage. But they do move into range of the inexperienced squad's ambush, and they fire and they get 1 hit and 1 kill. So that adds another pin to Schultz's squad. And Schultz then returns fire with his machine gun and what he has in range. Needing 7th though, so does no damage. The Soviet sniper activates next, and he fires a shot, scores a hit, and takes out the German machine gun, holding down his objective and his entire left flank. So that flank is now totally empty. Another Soviet dice, and I try to pass a 2-pin order from that squad who got hit by the mortar earlier, but even with the officer there, they fail. The armored car activates next, and once again fires both LMGs into the squad behind the fence, scoring 7 hits, and getting enough kills to wipe the squad out and take them out of the game. Next dice is a German dice, and Tyson elects to bring his officer in on the right flank to help out that squad in the wheat field. Soviet mortar is next, and he fires and begins the process of reacquiring the German squad in the wheat field, and he misses. German dice is next, and Tyson, being in somewhat of a desperate situation, just charges his flamethrower straight out across the road towards the enemy objective all by himself. The Soviet AT rifle then advances on next to the fence with line of sight to the flamethrower, fires a shot needing a 5, but he rolls a 4 and misses. Then the German Panzerschreck team outflanks on my left, and he's able to get within line of sight of my armored car. He fires a shot, but thankfully for me and my armored car, he misses, and he's kind of left just standing out in the breeze. The next die is the last German die, and Tyson has the squad in the center advance into the trees and fire at the Soviet squad to their front. But them being down, plus the move in long range, they needed 7s and were unable to score any hits. The last 3 dice in the bag belong to the Soviets. The first one, I bring my Siberian veteran squad in, outflanking onto the unoccupied German objective. The second one, I bring my last squad from reserve to reinforce the center. And the last dice I used to move my officer up to the edge of the wood line, fire at the flamethrower team. I score 1 hit, but do nothing but a pin. At the top of turn 4, the Germans are down to 6 order dice, while the Soviets remain at 9. But the Germans get the first order die of the turn. Tyson uses this to advance the flamethrower up and fire at the squad in the woods. He scores a hit, nailing 5 of them, killing 4, adding 2 more pins. That squad then fails the morale test and routes off the table. Next up is the Soviet die, and I use it to have the mortar fire again at Schultz's squad in the wheat field. And again, needing a 5 this time, I roll a 4 and miss. The Soviets draw the next die as well, and with that one, I have the inexperienced squad in the wheat field charge the Panzerschreck team. They take some fire on the way in from the Panzerschreck, and 1 man is killed, which boosts the inexperienced squad to regular. And then they proceed to wipe out the Panzerschreck team, and then they get a good reconsolidation 5 inches, and they move back into the wheat field. Next die up is a German die, and Tyson has the squad in the center fire at the officer who's standing at the edge of the woods. An LMG and 3 rifles. He manages to kill the officer with a Super 6, leaving just his assistant, who does pass the morale test, to hang around. Then a Soviet dice comes out, and I advance my squad behind the woods up into the woods, and I fire the LMGs and all the rifles I can at the German squad in the woods to my front. Needing 6s, I only get 1 hit and do nothing but a pin. Then the Soviet sniper takes a shot at the German flamethrower and rolls a 1 and misses. Next, the officer's assistant activates, and he fires his SMG at the flamethrower and manages to kill 1 of them, but the flamethrower man passes his test and stays on the table. The German mortar then fires at the fresh Soviet squad that has moved into the tree line, but rolls a 5 and misses. The Soviet dice comes out, and I use it to have my AT rifle take a shot at that last flamethrower guy to see if I can take him down, but he misses as well. The next 2 dice are the last 2 German dice, and first Tyson has Schultz's squad attempt to move out from the wheat field, but they again fail their order and go down. And then after that, he just has his lieutenant just go down in place, hanging with Schultz's squad in the wheat field. The last 2 dice belong to the Soviets. The first one, I just put my Siberian veterans down on the German objective. In the second one, I have the armored car turn and fire both LMGs at the flamethrower guy. I do get 1 hit, but I do not kill him, and that is the end of turn 4. So at the top of turn 5, the Soviets get the first die of the turn, and I immediately go in to remove the threat of the flamethrower. I assault with the squad in the woods. I take them out, and I get a decent consolidation and just consolidate towards the center objective. Another Soviet die comes out, and my mortar again fires at Schultz's squad in the wheat field for the 3rd time, but this time he scores a hit. I'm able to get 3 under the 2-inch template. I kill 2 of them, and I add 2 more pins as well. So that squad is starting to really take the heat. And seeing the writing on the wall, Tyson and his Germans decide it's time to concede, and they leave the table. So Soviet victory. I held all 3 objectives, so I had 3 victory points to the German 0. He really had no way to even contest anything at that point, and there was just no reason to keep going on. So we called the game. It was a good game. A little one-sided. I had some really good rolls. He had some bad rolls, but overall, it was a fun game. So
Another Patron Remote game in the books. Thanks to Tyson for playing. Thanks to all the other patrons who came out and hung out and watched with us. And if you guys would like to get involved with something like this, we do this, try to do this once every month or every 2 months. We also like to try to do it with multiple people. So try to get 4 people playing a game, and that's a lot of fun. It gets hectic, but it is a lot of fun. And yeah, so it's just fun to get together with guys similar interest and throw some dice. So you guys can join the Patreon if you want to join in on this kind of stuff. Well, you're always welcome to, and we'd like to see you there. So anyway, with that, we'll again just say thanks to all our patrons, thanks to all the guys, or all the people who subscribe to the channel. Let us know what you guys think of this format. Yeah, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time.